So I'm going to delete this just to not clutter up our prints. And I'm going to create another static method, def get ingredients. Okay, soup, as always, we need to pass in the soup. Okay, so let's see, what do we need to find here to be able to tell the parser to look for this? Well, here we previously saw that we need this entire unordered list, okay? And each list item is of class ingredient and item prop ingredients, okay? So what we can do is we can say, for example, for now let's just print it out as usual. I think it's very useful to print out stuff so you can see what the parser is doing, or for that matter, what your code is doing in any case, whether it's a parser or your application or whatever. I think it's extremely useful. Okay, so let's print out soup.find all this time because it's a list. So we're going to be finding all li's of class equal to ingredient. And I'm going to have to call this. So this will be self.getIngredients soup. Okay, so let's refresh and see what happens. Okay, so here we see we have a bunch of HTML. So we're grabbing something, and this is a list. Okay, so the list starts here, and we have all these items inside of this list. We have spans with the ingredients, spans with the amounts. Look here, they're even structuring it as we did. Okay, so they have the ingredient, they have the amount, and the value of this amount is 2. So then they have the type, pounds. Okay, so they also have the amount, the unit, and the ingredient. So this is really nice. This is a bit more tricky. So we will have to figure out how to extract the amount, which is inside of value, and then we will have to extract the type. So this will be the units in our case. And then we will have to extract the actual ingredient, so boneless chicken breasts. And this lives inside of a tag. Okay. I'm actually going to delete my search, okay, now. And so we will have to figure out how to do this, but don't worry, we will go step by step, okay. So let's say this is going to be the list of ingredients is equal to all of that. And let's say now we want to format the ingredients as we expect them. So let's say formatted ingredients is equal to an empty list, and we will add stuff into our list as we go along and as we parse each item. So now let's say for ingredient in list ingredients. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to extract the amount first, okay, because I think it's the easiest. So all we have to do to extract the amount is to identify the span of class value and get the amount. Okay, so let's say amount is equal to ingredient. This time we're not going to use the soup any longer because we are inside of each ingredient, right? And let's say find a span of class value. And we only want the actual what's inside of that, so we only want the string. And we will also want to clean the string, so we can add strip, okay? And let's actually see if we're getting the amount. Okay, good. See here we're getting the amounts. Okay, so the next thing we need to grab is the actual what kind of unit it's in. So here they have it inside of a span class type. So let's say unit is equal to, and I'm going to just copy this, ingredient of find span class type. Okay, and I'm going to print out both of these items side by side so we see what we get. So print amount and unit. Okay, let's refresh our parser. And here we see that we're getting an error because we're trying to run the strip over something that returns a none type. So all of this returns a none, and then we can run a strip on the none type, okay? So what we need to do is we need to check if unit, first of all, we need to get rid of this strip, and then we need to check if unit. Then we can actually go ahead and say unit is equal to unit.strip. Okay, so now we can print amount and unit and see what this gives. Okay, so now we have this, and see we got an error because this one was none here. Okay, but this doesn't matter because we can save a none to our data store, because remember in the template we tested whether or not the amount or the unit was none, and if it is none, then we're not going to print it out, so this is safe. And so actually we should be doing the exact same thing for the amount, okay, because it's also not safe to, you know, just assume that the amount exists. So let's say if amount, then the amount is equal to amount.strip. Okay, good. Now the last thing we need to do is we need to get the actual ingredient. So here we see it's inside the span class name, and inside of this name they have a tag, and everything lives, you know, kind of like inside and outside of this a tag. Okay, so let's try and actually, you know, extract the ingredient. So let's say ing is equal to ingredient.find, and I'm actually going to copy all of this and say span class name. Okay, and now I'll just print out the ing. Okay, I'll refresh and see what happens. Okay, and here we see we're getting something, you know, really strange, because we're getting a bunch of nuns, and here we're only getting apple juice. So let's see what's happening. This is because of all these links, right? The apple juice is the only one that doesn't have a link, so we see we have a problem here. But luckily, Beautiful Soup has another method. Instead of string, we can type text, and it will extract everything that is inside of this tag that we're grabbing, and it will extract everything that's not a HTML tag. Okay, so we'll ignore this href and extract this boneless chicken breasts, and also extract this cut into bite-sized pieces. Okay, so let's see what this gives. Refresh, and voila, here we have everything nice and clean extracted. Okay, great. So we have everything we need. So now we have to append these into our formatted ingredients. So let's say formatted ingredients.append. We're going to append a dictionary, and the first key is going to be amount, and the value is going to be amount. The second one is going to be unit, the value is going to be unit, and the ingredient is going to be ing. Okay, good. So finally we just need to return the entire formatted ingredients. Okay. So let's print this out, see if everything is working. Refresh, and we see we have our dictionaries with all the values. Okay, great. So we can simply say ingredients is equal to all of that.